Welcome to the Smarter Science of Slim, the scientifically proven program where you eat more and exercise less to burn fat and boost health.
Eat smarter, exercise smarter, live better. I am so ready for that.
Hey everybody, this is Carrie Brown and I am here with Mr. Jonathan Baylor. How are you?
Carrie, I'm excited.
You're always excited. Tell me something new.
I am, listeners, you're going to have to stick with me here because I'm not going to actually let Carrie reel me in. She's not allowed to reel me in because the reason I'm going to go off the reel is Carrie Brown. So, folks, the great Carrie Brown has done something that I couldn't be happier about because you know, listeners, you know, I know, Carrie certainly knows that going sane is not about deprivation. It's about just being smarter. It's about, you know, just like you can be a smart shopper. You can go to the store, you can get that beautiful new dress or that beautiful new suit. You could pay retail for it, and if you paid retail for it, you might have to shop in moderation. Otherwise, you would break the bank. But if you're a smart shopper, not only can you get that new dress, not only can you get that new suit, maybe you can grab some shoes. Maybe you could grab a belt. Maybe you could actually have your cake and eat it too, literally, because you used your brain, your beautiful brain. Now, Carrie has done something. I like to tell people that you can eat basically anything you want while being sane. It's just about doing it smarter, right? Eat more, smarter. Folks, Carrie Brown has written a friggin' recipe book for ice cream that is absurdly sane. She has literally taken not everything can be sane, Jonathan. There are 30 completely sane ice cream recipes in this book, thus proving, you can see how happy I am, right? This makes my life so easy. People are like, Jonathan, it's a diet. What can I eat? How about some friggin' ice cream? That's glorious. So thank you to Carrie Brown for proving definitively in her new exclusively ice cream cookbook titled TBD, but it's going to be something glorious, that we can all scream for sane ice cream. Carrie.
Yay!
Whew. And she asked me to write the foreword. How nice is that?
Well, who else could I have write the foreword?
Carrie, so now, listeners, this is going to be a fun rest of this episode and the next episode, because it's almost like the guest podcast we have, except on this podcast, Carrie Brown is the guest.
No, you never told me that bit.
I know, we don't plan these, so it's the best we can do. So Carrie Brown, you've written this brilliant this sane ice cream book, and folks, just so you know, my parents were in town, and myself, my dear mother, my dear father, and Angela all had 3 flavors of Carrie's ice cream, and hands down phenomenal. There's just no... this is the best endorsement I can give you, Carrie. Carrie will, and this is God's honest truth. I refused to eat it at some point because I said there's no way this is sane. And since then, I have been proven wrong. It is absolutely sane, and is really all I can say. So Carrie Brown, I didn't even know this book existed until you showed it to me the other day, and now you're showing the world. How did this all begin? I'm so excited I can't talk.
Well, it began, I guess my whole ice cream thing started 4 years ago. And
when you say ice cream thing, what does that mean?
Well, I was never really an ice cream person growing up most of my life. Ice cream never really, it just wasn't my thing, really. But then 4 years ago, I had to make a birthday dessert for a friend. And for some reason that I can't explain to you in any way, shape or form, I decided I was going to make ice cream, even though I'd never made ice cream before. I know, right? A pastry chef that had never made ice cream, but I'd never made ice cream. But I decided that's what I was going to do. It was June, it was warm, my friend loved raspberries. I decided I was going to make raspberry ice cream. And because I'm just an all or nothing kind of girl, I made raspberry ice cream, and I also made raspberry ripple ice cream, and I didn't even believe they were homemade.
Well, these were like for like cream, sugar, everything.
Eggs,
Just
they were
this is just standard ice cream.
Yeah, traditional ice creams, and nobody believed that I'd made them. They were, and so after that, and I'd enjoyed the whole process of making ice cream so much that I decided I was going to make some other flavors. So then I decided that every weekend I was going to create a new flavor of traditional ice cream. And then, of course, that turned to 2 a weekend, and then that turned to 4 a weekend, and then I was just churning out ice cream. Then I had to buy a second churner and 4 bowls. And
then Baskin Robbins came knocking, like, hey, 32 flavors, what are you trying to do?
Actually, it wasn't Baskin Robbins, but I was producing ice cream for a local hotel.
Oh, wow.
Or a local restaurant in a hotel. And I was making it for friends and neighbours. If anyone did anything for me, they got ice cream. So then everyone wanted to do stuff for me because they wanted ice cream. And I took it to my day job, and everybody loved ice cream day. And it was just, my whole life became completely surrounded with ice cream that I'd made. And then that was all just going swimmingly until I met Baylor.
I threw a wrinkle.
You threw a huge wrinkle in my ice cream world, because once I met you and I understood about sugar and how that all worked, well, then I could no longer live with integrity and think Baylor all week and then spend all weekend making these ice creams that were helping to kill people. I mean, not to be dramatic,
no, it's true.
But you know what I mean. And so I for a little while, I carried on making the ice cream and hanging out with Baylor, and then over time, I just the dissonance between making ice cream and giving it away to people and spending time with Jonathan became too great, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore. So I stopped making ice cream.
The profoundly empowering thing that you've done here, Carrie, is that I know many people like you who bake or cook because it enables them to bring joy to other people. And anyone involved in the health movement, we don't want to come in and rain on anyone's parade and say, oh, you know that thing you do to make people happy? Stop. Like, that's no fun. But at the same time, just like you said, we don't want to make people smile today only to make them diabetic tomorrow.
Right.
So how amazing is it that, I don't want to give away the next part of your story, but then you found a way to all of these things, ice cream in the future, and people have already seen this on your blog, and we'll continue to see even more, cakes, cookies, pies, like all of these things have been sanitized or just done in a more intelligent fashion. Correct?
Right. So having decided that I couldn't live with myself in my new sane world and make regular ice cream, I just stopped making ice cream. But then after a little while, I realised that I really missed it. And I also I lost my title of the ice cream queen because I was no longer making it. So I no longer had all this ice cream adulation. And,
ice cream adulation.
Hey, I'm human and I missed it. But I also, which is very important for me, like you say, to help make other people happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't making people happy because I wasn't making them ice cream. And I missed that. And I wasn't getting stuff done at my house either because no one would come and help me because there was no ice cream. So there was this huge ice cream hole in my life for all these crazy and good reasons. And so after I'd started, blogging all my sane recipes, I decided that there had to be a way to create ice cream that did not cause me to go off the sanity wagon, that I could make something that was sane. But for me, because I'm Carrie Brown and I'm a bit, weird like that, it had to taste as good as or better than traditional ice cream.
Yep.
Like, and I know people that follow me comment about my ridiculous perfectionism when it comes to recipes. But for me, that's the whole thing, is it has to taste as good or better than what you were eating. But it also has to be sane. So,
Carrie, let me interrupt you just here real quick. So I'm going to keep saying this because it didn't really even click with me, listeners, until somewhat recently. But the only reason, quote unquote, healthy or slimness is hard is because there's this sense of deprivation, right? There's things we used to enjoy that we feel like we can't enjoy anymore. And there are all, like, this is me, I'm guilty of this. Like, I'll talk about I eat quote unquote ice cream. Okay, Jonathan Baylor's version of saying ice cream is good for me, but it does not taste like regular ice cream. So anyone who I gave that to would say, okay, this is healthy ice cream, in quotes, I get it, oh, healthy ice cream. And that's analogous to, you know, saving money on clothes by having to go buy it at the secondhand store. So not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know, you're not really getting what you really wanted. But imagine, again, just like you know, Neiman Marcus has some super high-end designer outfit that's just on an amazing sale. And it's almost like that's too good to be true, but it's not. And Carrie's done that. She's essentially put all these delicious treats on sale from a health perspective. Like, the impact they're going to have on your metabolism is benign, and the impact they're going to have on your taste buds is literally, there is no reason not to go SANE when you have things like this. It's amazing. Carrie, keep going. I'm sorry, I get too excited. Keep going. It's amazing.
So anyway, so I decided that had to be possible. And so then I worked on coming up with something that tasted the same and also behaved the same, because ice cream is very geeky. It's the most complex food thing that we've created as humans, and it's just not easy. You can't just sling a pile of stuff in a churner and expect to get scoopable ice cream out the other end. It's actually, there's a lot of physics and chemistry involved. So I wanted to get flavors that tasted better than premium ice cream, but I also had to get the texture and the consistency right. So it's taken a lot of trial and a lot of error and several attempts until I got it right. And everyone is different depending on what ingredients you have in it. But I guess I have proved it's possible, because I had a team of taste testers, and I started out, they were blind because, of course, they didn't know what I did. So they started out.
It was a blind, not the taste testers were not literally blind.
No.
I had a group of taste testers, all of whom were blind.
No, it was a blind taste test. And then I told them that they were sugar-free, gluten-free, grain-free. Some of them are dairy-free. Just all of this stuff. And they were just like, and I swear half of them still don't believe me, because they couldn't believe that there was one I developed was it's cinnamon or snickerdoodle, and every one of the taste testers was like, how in the world do you get ice cream that's healthy to taste like a cinnamon roll?
Yep.
And I still think half of them don't believe that they were what I said they were.
Well, including I am guilty
Jonathan.
of that. And here's another brilliant thing about this, folks. Obviously, you can tell I'm pretty excited about these recipes. Is that there are certainly, Carrie talked about the science that goes into this, and there is, right? You think Unilever, like Kraft, all these, they have food scientists, we all know this, that design these chemical flavors and blah, 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 blah. The other thing you'll notice about Carrie's recipes is, in addition to just being SANE, they're made at home. So they are made with whole, healthy, delicious foods. Natural. There's none of this like, well, go to the store and buy Yellow 5 and some xanthine glycogen mate, whatever, car region, blah, blah, blah. It's all just food combined with science, combined with culinary expertise. That, again, it's not about saying, like, let's all eat ice cream all day, every day, but it's about saying, just like we don't drive the same cars we used to, fly in the same airplanes we used to, use the same computers we used to, we don't need to eat the same ice cream we used to. We can eat smarter, saner ice cream. That gets me excited.
It's I'm very, very excited. In fact, I'm still in that kind of, I can't believe that this has happened, or this is where it's got. So I'm very excited that the world can make these easily at home and have one of the things they love in their life. Again, there are probably a lot of people, when they first go SANE, they probably think that they're never going to eat ice cream again. Well, now that is no longer the case.
and again, this is proof positive, Carrie. We've said in previous episodes, and some listeners may have had a hard time believing, do you have cheat days? And both of us have answered, like, you don't, when you're completely satisfied with something, be it eating or be it a relationship with a human being, there's no need to cheat. Why would you ever need to cheat? If you're not missing anything, there's no need to cheat on anything. And what you've shown here is that you have dessert and you have some SANE ice cream.
And
why
you're
would
not
you?
cheating.
You
aren't cheating.
You're not cheating at all.
Yeah.
And it's and the other thing, Carrie, is you talk about some of the key characteristics of the ice cream. You mentioned some of this dairy-free, some sugar, blah, blah, blah. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of these key characteristics your taste testers have identified as being, let's call them selling points, maybe?
Difficult to describe on air, other than to say that you would not know. They're creamy like traditional ice creams, or like premium ice creams, actually. They're not as dense, but that's by virtue of the chemistry of traditional ice cream, the ingredients versus mine. But they scoop the same, they look the same, and they taste every bit as good.
But there are some, you mentioned, I believe you said you had some recipes which are not only, and this is cool, folks, because when you see the recipes, we'll talk more about the ingredients in our second ice cream episode, which you will hear next week. But you have things like no added sugars, and some of these don't have dairy in them, and some of them don't have this. So there are people from, not people that just call themselves sane, but people who may call themselves, I don't know, lacto, vegan, whatever. What are some of the key characteristics that may appeal to those people?
Well, I can't give you numbers because I don't remember the exact split, but there are, in order to be sane, I had to find a way to up the protein content. So there are some that have whey protein added to them to do that, but I'm aware that there's quite a few people out there who either can't or don't want to eat dairy. Mm-hmm. And so I also produced some that do not have whey protein in. They still have the high protein, but not whey. And so I tried to, not all recipes can be all things to all people.
Exactly. But
I tried to put some recipes in there for every group of people that I could think of, yep, so that there's something, if you're vegetarian sane, if you're dairy free sane, if you're whatever you
diabetic
are,
sane,
diabetic sane, there's something in there that you can have, because I think everybody should have ice cream that tastes fantastic, yep, but actually supports your health and body fat goals. I don't think it should be an either or thing. I think you should be able to have it all, and now you can. You have your cake and eat it too, quite literally. Yes. And again, folks, it is a cool, I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of the possibilities here because it's amazing. But right now, there's really just two categories. There's this real ice cream, which will make you sick if you eat it too long. And then there's diet ice cream, which will make you sick if you eat it too long. So it has these chemicals and it tastes nasty. But so what if you could, like, literally, it sounds too good to be true, but what if you could have something that tastes like the real deal, because it is the real deal. That's the thing, is people, and you know this, a lot of listeners out there, when you start understanding the diversity of options available to you when you go sane, or if you've tried any other of Carrie's recipes, like her stroganoff recipes or her lasagna recipes, it's just a different way of doing it. It's not like the diet way of doing it. It's just you use different whole, natural, healthy, healing foods. And because of that, you get a different result in terms of your metabolism, but your taste buds are still rocking and rolling without all the chemicals or without all the sugars or without all the artificial fats, which is awesome. And the other thing that will, some of you who've got a great sense of humor, you will be able to feed this to people who know nothing about sanity, who poo-poo what you're doing, all of those people. You will be able to serve them up this ice cream, and from tasting it, they will have absolutely no idea that it is sane. And Carrie, that's really what I want to close on, is I think these ice creams are about so much more than ice cream, right? Because up to this point, healthy, like if you tell someone this is healthy,
the image they get in their mind is not a positive one. Like,
right, and it's not tasty.
And it's not so it's just like, let's stop saying it's healthy. Like, we could just say, like, this is here's some ice cream, and we know it's smarter ice cream, we know it's sane ice cream, but just serve it as ice cream and watch, and then as people smile and savor it, and you mention, this is sane, this is smarter ice cream, a little light bulb will go off in their head, because they will say, oh my gosh, if ice cream can heal me, if I live this lifestyle, what other things could I be eating while healing myself simultaneously? And that, man, when healthy, quote unquote healthy, becomes delicious, I think we might have that tipping point that we need to save the hundreds of millions of lives that need to be saved currently in the world.
It also just makes it a lot easier. It just makes it easier.
Yeah.
If you're following a lifestyle, not eating certain things that you always have, if the things that you are eating are delicious, it's just so much easier to stick to it and to just keep on going. Because why would you go back to something that's harming you if what isn't harming you tastes better?
Exactly. You feel even better because you're doing it smarter. It's like walking out of that store knowing you got that beautiful dress or that beautiful suit and you got it on sale.
Yay!
1-2 punch. So, folks, obviously we haven't told you the title of the book because we're not 100% locked on it yet. But when this airs, certainly we will not air it until the book is available. Check it out. We'll have it up on Carrie Brown's blog. We'll also have it up on the smarterscienceofslim.com. Of course, you'll be able to find it on Amazon. I think the best bet would probably be to search for Carrie Brown.
Carrie Brown ice cream.
Search for Carrie Brown ice cream.
It will have ice cream in the title.
It will have ice cream in the title, but search for Carrie Brown ice cream. It's glorious. And next week, Carrie, we're going to talk a bit more about ice cream. What's on the agenda for next week?
I have no idea. I haven't made it up yet.
He hasn't made it up yet. But folks, I think we'll get a little bit more concrete. Certainly, we're not going to go through the entire book on the podcast, but we will give you a little bit more of a concrete understanding of what's in store when you need to stock up for sane ice cream. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be awesome. And until then, eat more, exercise less, just do it smarter. Chat with you soon.
See ya.
Wait, don't stop listening yet.
You can get fabulous free sane recipes over at carriebrown.com.
And don't forget your 100% free eating and exercise quick start program, as well as free, fun, daily tips delivered right into your inbox at baylorgroup.com. That's BAILOR group.com.